Alon Gnome, and welcome back to the fourth and final installment of this year's Alon Gnome's Guide 2. And of course, the topic is collecting on a budget. So, we've gone through a lot over the past couple of weeks. We discussed putting a budget together. We discussed looking for value in deals, every which way. And we have discussed the day where we actually make those purchases and how to make wiser purchases. But today, we are going to be talking about a couple of very important things, some very serious things, when it comes to actually making those purchases. And it's all going to be revolving around mostly internet buying and also understanding the power of the buy it button and knowing that it can in fact be something that could cause some serious damage. And that is where we are going to begin today. We are going to start with one of the best places to go when it comes to internet shopping, but it's also one of the places where you gotta be the most careful, and that is eBay. eBay has been around for almost 20 years. It's crazy to believe. And eBay is also a place where I was able to find some things from my childhood that I never thought that I would ever see again. But when I first found eBay, and I first started talking to my parents about it, because I was still in my late high school years, early college years when eBay actually started, so I was still living under their roof. I still needed their help with some purchases, no reason why I shouldn't admit that. And when I told them about the eBay purchases, they got a little bit nervous because this wasn't you going into a retail store anymore. And believe it or not, this was also a time when Amazon wasn't even something that was popular yet. Believe it or not, in the late 1990s, Amazon was a place where people could only get books for school. There was no CD purchasing, no movie purchasing, no food shopping. It was strictly for books. So the internet was still in its infant stages when it came to online purchasing. So eBay, of course, was an auction site. It was a place where people could actually go post old items or new items up for sale, and people had the ability to bid on them, and then two complete strangers would actually go through a business transaction, and that was pretty much where the caution started to lie, because these are not professional people. These are average people that are just selling items to other people, and others are buying them. So there could be serious problems. There could be scams. Nobody really knew how to expect to handle something like this. But it has changed into a place where people can actually buy things in retail even on eBay. There is so much on eBay right now that is there for protection, and now of course with the institution of PayPal, it is a much easier and secure way for people to send money to other average people. So in regards to eBay today, when it comes to making purchases, you still have to use it with caution, especially when you're buying an item, because a picture, while they say is worth 1,000 words, the real question is that the right picture that you're supposed to be seeing? So the first thing you need to understand when it comes to purchasing on eBay is you have to see the seller. Take a look at their rating. I would say that if you see anybody that has a lower rating than 99%, okay, I'm aiming really high here, 99%. Do not purchase an item from that person. Do not bid on any item from that person. And even if that person doesn't have a top-rated seller gold medal ribbon or whatever that little icon is that you see on some of them, if that person does have a 99 or a 100% rating without the gold standard, then there's still no reason why you shouldn't trust that person. But anything lower, no. I would not trust, I would not even bother. I have been making purchases on eBay, and a lot of it is for buy it nows. I don't really do many auctions, because when I see something, I just want to get it right away, and I don't want the hassle of having to keep looking for it. So a buy it now option is very important. If the buy it now option also offers free shipping, that is a great thing too. That's another very important tip that you need to realize. When you see an item up for sale, especially if it's a buy it now item, you've got to take a look at the shipping cost if there is no sign on the item that says free shipping, because you could be spending an additional $2 to possibly an additional $20. I'm not kidding. I have seen it, and it is something that I accidentally walked into once. I think maybe 3 years ago, I went and bought myself a Funko Pop, and it looked really nice. It was only $15, and it was a buy it now. But I didn't look to see if there was a shipping cost, and it ended up being an additional $15. So I ended up spending $30 for a Funko Pop, and that was back when I first started collecting, and I was a little upset with myself, especially because of the fact that I was also in a very different place. I didn't have that kind of money to spend. I was still in grad school, and I didn't have a full-time job yet, so money was a little bit tight, and I blew it on a stupid purchase. So you gotta be very, very careful when it comes to eBay items. And it's not just eBay. Amazon has the exact same thing too, because while you can get things directly from Amazon.com, there are also ways that you can purchase from other sellers. Always take a look at the shipping costs if there is nothing else there that states anything besides the price, especially if it's from an outside retailer that is selling their items through Amazon. And that goes into the next tip, and that is believe in willpower. I know, we love material goods. Even us people who say I am not a material person, but they're making videos and there are over 100 books on their bookshelf. That means that you are a very materialistic person. I'm sorry, but you are one of them. Don't be ashamed about it. There's nothing wrong with being materialistic. It defines the person that you are and it makes you unique. But you have to also believe in the power of will. You have to make sure that when you are making that purchase that this is something that you can purchase. If you know you're struggling with money, you have to put it to the side. You have to let it be. Remember what I said in previous videos. People can get them for you as gifts. People can do nice things for you if you do something for them in kind first. You will be able to fulfill your materialistic goals and get the things that you want. If you make sure that these are things that you truly want, you will find the means to make sure that you have the money on hand. Save, budget, spend wisely. It is something that is very easy to accomplish. When I was young, I always spent every dollar that I came in contact with because I was young, I was stupid, I didn't know how to manage money. And they say that our parents are the people that are supposed to teach us how to manage money. However, when your parents just come up to you and say, save your money, don't spend it, that's not the best piece of advice, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because they're just saying to you, don't spend. A kid can hear those words and take it away by basically hearing from their parents, you don't want me to be happy, you don't want me to have any fun. So what do we do as kids? We rebel. We go against our parents. We don't listen. We still spend all of our money. And that's where I feel that the whole mentality in regards to saving and spending money needs to change. You need to have advice like I do, because you can't walk around and just not live your life and have fun. When you officially become the person that you define yourself as, you want to be happy. You don't want to be a person that just doesn't do anything with their life. But you know something? Maybe people don't want to spend their money. And if they don't want to spend their money on material goods, then that's great. That's the type of person that they are. But you just have to understand that there is a time for fun and there is a time to be serious, and money takes part in both of those areas. So you need to remember that there needs to be money for the sake of paying bills and for the sake of putting food on the table. But then there can be a little bit of money for going to the movies, going out to dinner, and buying everything you want under the sun. And that is where I will conclude with something that I have discussed already, but we have to ingrain it into your minds, and that is assess your wants from your needs. You have to remember that your needs are more important. Books are not needs. Music is not needs. Movies are not needs. Funko Pops are not needs. And that's one of the few things that can get a little bit dicey. I have a lot of Funko Pops, okay? I have over 100 right now, but I know people that have over 1,000. And one of the few things that I have noticed, that a lot of people that have those gigantic collections, they are all now living with remorse and regret, and they're beating themselves over the head, and they're saying, why did I waste all my money? And now it's gotten to the point where they want to sell, they can't get these things sold. That's because of the fact that they just didn't go and spend their money on things that they needed. Which is why when it comes to spending, you have to understand, is this something that I am really going to find value in. Is a Funko Pop something that I would find value in? Absolutely. There are certain things that I just connect with, things that are from my past, things that made me happy. I don't regret a single pop that I officially own because I love them all, some of them were gifts, and I know for a solid fact that these are things that I don't feel so guilty about because I still have money to spend on groceries and pay all of my important bills. When it comes to movies, I want to make sure, is this a movie that I'm going to watch dozens and dozens of times, hundreds, thousands? Yes. Same thing with music. These are bands that I love. These are bands that I will follow. If I don't like a CD, I will not buy the band's CD because I've sampled it. I always sample my music first. But needs are the most important. You've got to remember that your bills have to be paid. You got to remember that you have to eat. And you got to remember, especially if you've got a wife or a husband or kids, that they come first before you. Remember, needs always precede your wants, and if you take care of your needs, based on everything that we have discussed today, there will be room for you to have your wants. So you will have your cake and eat it too. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. It was a pleasure to discuss some very important life lessons with you. But what I would really like today is I would like you guys to put some comments in the box below, because I'd like to know what you would like me to discuss next year in my next episode series of A Lawn Gnomes Guide 2 in 2018. I don't really know what I want to talk about, so I'm really going to want your help on this. So just put those comments in there and let me know what you think. But thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.